All right, Honors Econ. What's up? I hope you guys are good. I'm gonna go over the quiz you guys took because you're gonna do today. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do corrections on this. You're gonna turn those in on Friday. You should be able to go into Canvas, and if you go into the quiz again, it's gonna show you which ones you got wrong. Now, if you got a 90 or above, we are good. You do not have to do the corrections. However, if you got a 89 or below, then I do need to see some reflection on your part. You're going to just take a picture of your notes and turn that in. Also, you guys, some of you were saying, hey, where do we turn in our notes that we took from last week? I made that assignment. I adjusted it so that you can submit something online. I hope you saw that announcement yesterday, so please go ahead and do that when you get a chance if you haven't already. All right, first question. Nobody missed this, right? Taxes imposed on imports are called tariffs. That's just straight up vocab. That's really pretty easy. Let's look at the second question. How would someone who wanted to see all trade barriers removed have felt about NAFTA? Well, they would have supported it because NAFTA eliminates trade barriers, right? It's free trade, right? So if you want to see all trade barriers removed, you're going to feel pretty good about NAFTA because that's eliminating the trade barriers between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Third one, really pretty simple. The term exchange rate refers to it's how much one nation's form of currency is worth compared to another nation's currency. So when we say like $1 equals 8 Mexican pesos, right, we're referring to the exchange rate. Okay, some of these more conceptual questions, right, trip you guys up, right? You can see the data here. An appreciating currency in Canada benefits. Now, I changed this. The correct answer was actually this was D. Right? It benefits Canadian consumers. The reason being is Canadian consumers are going to buy things from around the world, and when their currency appreciates, they're able to buy more stuff around the world. All right, they're able to buy more foreign goods. However, if you chose this, foreign consumers of Canadian goods, I'm still giving you that. I changed this so it should have adjusted your grade. Okay, let me know if it didn't. And in fact, don't even worry about correcting this one. I'm just going to basically add some points back to everybody's grade that just didn't get this because this was a mistake. It should have been Canadian consumers. All right. All right, let's take a look at this one. £1 sterling gets you $2. Now £1 sterling gets you $1.75. So the pound sterling is worth less US dollars. It has depreciated. It has gone down in value. All right. France imports more products from China than China imports from France. In this scenario, France has an unfavorable balance of trade with China, meaning they're importing more than they export to China. All right. So they've got a trade deficit with China. All right, the fact the United States tends to import goods from Guatemala that it could produce more abundantly itself suggests that Guatemala has a comparative advantage in producing these goods, right? So the fact the United States tend to import goods from Guatemala means Guatemala has the comparative advantage. They're doing it cheaper. That's it, right? So that's the comparative advantage part, right? That comes back into when we get into this international stuff. Which of the following parties would be most likely to favor U.S. tariffs? Labor unions. Why? Because when you impose tariffs, it protects your domestic industries. And when you protect your domestic industries, you protect your domestic workers, those workers in your country. Labor unions represent domestic workers. So labor unions are going to like tariffs because it makes the foreign good more expensive. You're more likely to buy the domestic good, which helps the domestic company, which helps the domestic worker. Okay, when the U.S. dollar appreciates, you guys are doing pretty good on your appreciation, depreciation. When the U.S. dollar appreciates, U.S. consumers can afford to buy more foreign products. Yeah, everything around the world goes on sale for us when our dollar goes up in value. Remember, strong buys weak. All right? The international community has just discovered that the leaders of country X are executing large numbers of citizens who it accuses of opposing the government in an effort to put economic pressure on country X to stop the mass murders. The international community refuses to ship food and military weapons to the country. I'm going to stop reading there. Basically, you have an embargo going on. Not standards, right? Standards are when you attach kind of regulations to foreign goods. So like when we say, hey, listen, Hondas that are imported into the United States, they have to have seatbelts and stuff like that. That's a standard, right? If a country's doing this all out, just being bad politically, we don't like what they're doing, we're going to impose an embargo. We're just going to refuse trade with them. Which of the following can limit the availability of foreign products? Well, free trade. A lack of quotas, no, it's not going to limit the availability of foreign products. It would increase the availability of foreign products. Few domestic subsidies, again, that's going to increase the availability of foreign products. Product standards are going to limit the availability of foreign products. For example, we don't allow lead paint to be sold in the United States. If another country does, they're not going to be able to sell their lead paint to the United States. That standard is going to limit the availability of that foreign product. All right, in an effort to bring down the government of Fidel Castro, the United States adopted a policy of refusing to trade with Cuba. More than 40 years later, this policy remains in effect. Which of the following is an attempt to punish another country by refusing to trade with it? That is an embargo. You're all looking good there. Emma's a U.S. tourist visiting Niagara Falls. A pretty tough question. She visits both the United States and Canadian sides. Emma wants to buy 20 t-shirts and some other souvenirs. Before traveling, she investigates and finds that at the current exchange rate of $1 US to $1.15 Canadian dollars, the souvenirs will cost her the same amount on either side of the border. If the exchange rate suddenly shifts to $1 US to $1.50 Canadian dollars, on which side of the border should Emma buy her shirts and why? Well, which currency appreciated? The US dollar just appreciated. Strong currency buys the weak currency, so she's going to buy the t-shirts in Canada. The reason being is she's going to be able to get more shirts in Canada than if she just simply bought them in the United States. I hope that makes sense. The purpose of a tariff, when used for protectionism, what is protectionism? It's trying to protect your domestic industries through trade barriers, right? Makes the foreign good more expensive, and then we are more likely to buy the domestically produced good. All right, so the purpose of a tariff is it makes the foreign good more expensive, and now we buy the domestic good. All right, which of the following is likely a result of a depreciation of the Japanese yen against other currencies? Japan will export more goods. Yeah, their stuff just got cheaper for everybody else in the rest of the world. So just think this: other currencies are becoming stronger. They're now going to buy the Japanese goods. Okay, guys, I just want you to go through that correction process. Again, 90 or above, you're good. Anybody 89 below, you're just going to add this to your notes, take a picture of that, and submit it on Friday. Hope you have a good day.